This to where I can see it. Alright, so yeah, it's 7:01. I'm gonna start. So today I'm going to be doing a painting tutorial. We're going to be following Bob Ross's Splendor of Autumn. I think I forgot to put it in. Okay, yeah. I forgot to put it in the document, but if you want to follow along, the size of the canvas is 2600 by 2160 pixels, 72 DPI. So this is going to be digital. It doesn't have to be any higher than that. I'm guessing if you wanted to print it, you might do like 200. 300 might be a bit much, but for digital, 72 DPI is most likely all you're going to need. Make sure I can have the right channel open. Alright, so in the document, if you're following along with Clip Studio, I supplied some brushes that I'm going to be using. If you have your own brushes, you can use those, but it just might be a bit harder to figure out which one you're going to need at which time. I also included some swatches, so when he names off the colors, you can just pick it from over here. I have mine in the corner because it's easier for me that way. If it's easier for you to use like the color set or the palette function, you can do that. But I'm just going to have it pasted as a layer here. Alright, I believe that might be all the setup we need for right now. So I'm going to start the video and we can start following along because my time limit is 2 hours and I don't know if we'll be able to finish this in 2 hours. So let's start.
Welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today we'd do a painting that's
Also,
just
if you
very
can't hear the
pretty
video,
to
let
make
me
you feel
know.
good inside. So let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you what we got up here. I have my standard old 18 by 24 inch double prime canvas, but you use whatever size is convenient for you. I've just covered the entire canvas with a very, very thin coat of liquid white, so it's all wet and ready to go.
Okay,
So
cool.
let's just have some fun today. Maybe we'll start out with a little tiny 2-inch brush. And to that, we'll add a little bit of Indian yellow.
So we're going to pick
Just a
this
small
right
amount.
here.
Don't need much. Thought let's just do something that's bright and shiny and pretty. As I say, it'll make you feel good inside.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we'll just put a little yellow.
That is a very dark color. Let me see. This one. Oh, I know what happened. So if you're in Clip Studio and you're using the oil flat subcolor plus color shift, make sure that this secondary color here is white, because if it's black, it's gonna make the color darker. If it's white, it's gonna be the actual color.
Right there, something about like that. There we go. Without cleaning the brush, I'm gonna go right into yellow ochre. Now, yellow ochre is sort of a gold color. It's very nice, warm color. I like it. There. If you put 2 eyes and a big smiley face on there, we'd have somebody's portrait right there. No, not really. There we go. Let's just blend that together. Maybe a little more of the ochre. Blend it out somewhere like that. We don't care. Doesn't make any difference. Because as you know, we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents here on canvas. Okay, now I'm gonna wash the old brush off. And we wash our brushes, since these are oil paints, with odorless paint thinner. Shake it on. And just cover everything in about a block radius. Now then, I want to mix up, let's take Let's take some phthalo blue. I'm gonna make a pretty good pile. And alizarin crimson, and just mix it together. Phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, proportionately. Much, 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 much more crimson than blue. Much more. There we go. We'll just make a nice lavender color. About like that. Okay, good. Now you may want to put a little white over here and test it to see what color it is, because it just sort of looks black on the palette, and you might want to test it. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of this on my 2-inch brush. Then I want to start on the outside edge and just begin blending that in. I don't want a dark color here, just a little lavender.
All right, mine is very blue, so I'm going to make it a bit more purple instead. All right, something like this. If you're following along and the color you get is very different from the color in the video, feel free to just change it. It should come out good anyway.
Just to bring it up like that. As I say, I thought we'd do something today that's just very bright and sparkly. Maybe even something that has an autumn feel to it. What the heck? Here we go. I'm gonna put a little bit on the other side over here too. We don't want him left out. There. Just sort of blend it around. Like that. Okay, maybe right in there. And that's about all we're looking for. There. Now I have several brushes going. I'm going to grab another one and put titanium white on it. Just a little titanium white. And come right up here in about the center. Take a little white and begin blending outward. I want this to be very bright right in here. So take a little bit of the titanium white and just really work it in there and work outward. Once you get the brush contaminated with color, try not to take it back into the center. You can do this as many times as you want to achieve any desired lightness. But I would suggest that you clean the brush each time you go back to the center. Otherwise, you're going to drag that dirty color right back into the light area. Now then, we can take it very lightly. Just blend the entire canvas. And just sort of bring it all together, that easy. There. And that'll sort of give us a nice warmish glow right out there. Now then, while I got...
All right, it's going to take me a bit more than 2 seconds to blend the canvas. So if you want to blend the canvas, you can use whatever blending tool you want. I'm just going to use the gouache blender right here. Make it a bit larger. And just start blending that. I don't think the direction I blend it in matters. Just gonna blend up here, down here, a little bit in here too. Just so it looks cloudy. Blend down here. All right. Oh, right here too. All right, I think that's good. All right. Got that all blended.
that old brush going. And let's see, I got another one here that has lavender on it. We'll use that. Let's put a little bit of that lavender color right on the brush. Just tap a little into the bristles. And maybe in our world, back in here, I don't know, just start making decisions here. Maybe there's some little things that live back in here, wherever. We're just going to make some little background indications, things that live far away. There. As you run out of paint, just turn the brush over, use the other side. Either side. There we go. Just some little indications. I don't know exactly what they are, and I don't know that we really care at this point. Just background material. Sometimes you can take the brush and just hold it vertically and put in all kinds of little indications wherever. Once again, this is just background material. We're not really concerned with it at this point. Maybe later on we will be, but right now it's just background material. There. As you begin running out of paint, you can put things that are closer.
I think for this I'm going to start using the oil taps brush. Might make it a bit easier on me. Alright, there we go. I'm just going to use the oil taps and shrink it down. Put a bit over here. Some up here. Put some texture into the picture so it's not so flat. It doesn't have to look like anything yet. Just putting stuff on the page. It's gonna look like something later.
To the light source up here because they would be lighter. There we go. Just little hints of things that you can see back here. We don't know where they are. Very quiet little quiet things. See them? See? It gives the impression there's things back here, but we don't know what they are. And I really don't know that it even matters right now. Just indications. And more little things that hang out over here, wherever you want them. There. Just all kinds of little doers. There we go. We nearly have the whole thing painted already. But that's all it takes. It's really all it takes. Just let your imagination take you to anywhere that you want to be. That easy. Now we can come back and begin making the indication of layers. Do the shape that in your mind is the farthest away first, and then work forward. And it'll create depth, even in little background things like this. And chances are we'll cover most of it up, but some of them may show through. And people will think that you've worked for long periods of time to create these illusions. Shh, it's our secret. Don't tell them. Just enjoy.
Alright, so for this part, it looks like some parts are a bit darker than others, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'll say like multiply. There we go. And with this new multiply layer, I'm just going to do the same thing. Just do the same as I did on the first layer. A little bit over here. A little bit over here. A little bit down here. Put some layering into it. I do want mine to have faded edges too, so I'm gonna set it to erase and then just sort of erase the middle parts here, a little bit right here. And use the, where is it? Gouache blender. Blend that in right there. Alright, there we go. Now there's some sort of depth going on here. Alright, and then I'm just gonna lock this and then go back to the original layer and start the video again.
Enjoy. There. Just let them pop right in there. But see, each layer gets a little bit darker. And already it looks like you can see way back in there. And we really haven't done hardly a thing. Maybe we'll have a little water. We can just pull some of this down. We'll decide where the water lives later. But we have a little bit in there if we need it. I'm gonna take a little bit of blue, a little phthalo blue, and just add right in there, so it has a little bluish cast to it. But it's still mostly lavender. It's just more to the blue side now.
Alright, so it looks like we're getting into the water, so I'm going to make a folder, put it in here, name this background or something. Alright, then that's the background. We're probably not going to touch this again. And I want a new layer, name that water or something like that. There we go. Now we can start on the water on this new layer without having to worry about messing up any of this we did in the back.
All right. Let's see. Here's a brush. We'll put a little white on it. This is just titanium white. Maybe in our world, it's right there. Maybe there's lights zinging right across the water. Want that to be nice and shiny. Okay, back to my brush with the lavender. I'm just sort of going back and forth. There, maybe there's a happy little bush that lives right here. Comes right out like that. There. And we'll pull a little reflection down for him.
Alright. Let me turn the color back on, get this phthalo blue. And then I'm just gonna work on the water down here because I have a lot of blank space. So I'm just gonna fill this entire part with blue all the way down here. It doesn't have to be fully opaque. You want some sort of see-through that adds depth. So we're just gonna shrink it down. Fill in the water. Then I'm going to take my gouache blender again and blend it together so there's not so many streaks in it. I'm going to blend side to side so it looks like water ripples up in there. Alright, it's looking good. Okay. So for this part, where the color pulls down, I'm not gonna mess with the water layer. I'm gonna make a new layer, clip it to the bottom layer, color pick from this, and then what I think I'll do, you see, subcolor. Yeah, I'm just gonna replicate this color around the edges where I want to make the reflection. So over here, maybe over here too. And then, let me see, can I do this with the gouache blender? Yes, I can. Just pull it down. With the blending brush. And layer. I think I might, let's see, blend. Let's see if I have one stronger. There we go. Gonna pull down some more. Just like this. All right. I think that catches me up. All right.
That easy. That easy. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Get crazy. Maybe over here, maybe there's another little peninsula that comes out into the water. So it looks like that water's back behind there. There, once again, just a little reflection underneath by pulling straight down and then going across. And that's all there is to it. Take that knife, a little bit of liquid white, maybe put the least little touch of bright red in, just enough to pink it up a little. Just give it a little pinkish flavor. Pull it out flat, cut across. Let's do that slow so you can see it. Cut across. Let's go up in here. Then we can take, and with that, just cut in the indication of just a little water line that lives right up in there. Something like that.
I'm gonna use the knife tool for this. And he used a bit of pink. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the white first. Go around the edge here. Go back here. And then I'm going to take I'll say flower pink. And add a bit of that right next to the white lines. All right.
I don't want a real distinct one, just a hint. Just a hint of color right in there, like so. There we go. All right, now already, look at the amount of depth and distances in that. It's that simple. Just by varying the shades. Now you could even go in here and take your knife and cut in little sticks and twigs, sometimes in between all these little areas. See, there they come.
Let me see if I have a vertical. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna pick knife rounded, that one's vertical. Then I'm just gonna draw a tiny little, real tiny, like maybe 15 point. Tiny little. Sticks in the ground. Here. Over here. I'll put one up here too. I don't want too many, but just a couple. All right.
All of those little things help create the illusion of distance in your painting. There we are. That's enough to get us started. Background for a tree that lives right there. Load the brush full of color, a lot of color. See, both. I'm going to take one side and just take it through a little bit of white. So I have light on one side, dark on the other. See? White, dark. Okay. Now, we have to decide, here's our light source right here. So light's going to come from both directions. Need to keep that in mind. Keep the light side of this to the left. Needed a little bit lighter. Didn't come out quite light enough. See? Get the light and the dark side both at once. Works well. And maybe, yeah, what the heck, it's working so well. Let's do it again.
There's too much. I'm just gonna. Alright, I'm thinking that's good enough. So let me see. Let me take the brown. Let's say Van Dyke brown. Oil flat. And then just go from here straight down. Do it a bunch of times till I get a shape I want. Go up here. Alright. And the second trunk here, approximately. A little bit shorter. For lining the edges. Let's see. Right about here. I'll do it on this side too, because he said the light's coming from both sides, so I'm going to put the white on both sides of the tree. There we go. Alright, that looks like something.
Okay, one more time. We'll give him a little frame. There, now see we have tree trunks. That easy. And let me find my little round brush. There it went. Let's go into a little bit of A little bit of yellow, a little bit of sap green. Maybe there's a little green still going on back here. We decided we'd have maybe a little autumn thing, but maybe there's still a little green back here. This little small round brush does fantastic.
All right. I'm gonna use the oil taps. Start putting the leaves in. You don't want to cover the purple completely because that's supposed to be the leaves in the back. Just want to cover it a little bit. The underside of the leaves, that can be where the purple shines through. Alright, we're gonna take, let's take the same sap green, make it a bit more yellow. Brighten it up. And start doing the edges of the leaves. Where the light hits it. Out here. Around here too.
There. Just a little green left back here. Even though Jack Frost may be doing his magic, still a little green on some of these. There. Maybe he missed this one. Okay, but surely he will come back and get it. There. But for right now, still got a little color in it. We'll just let it blend right on down to about there. And maybe now we'll start playing with color. Maybe there's a little yellow ochre right here. Touch of bright red once in a while. Down in here, maybe this tree has more color. Happen. I'm going to dip the brush into a small amount of the liquid white. Because, as you know, a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So we're going to thin it down just a wee bit. Over here on this side, more into the green hues. Just play with these colors, back and forth and back. Enjoy. Just really and truly enjoy. That's what it's all about. Should make you happy. All right. Okay, maybe there's another little bush right here in front of that one. Just work in layers, each layer. Think about it. Think about it. Shoot, let's get crazy here. Maybe there's some bushes on this side too. While I got the old brush working, we'll put some right down there at the foots of them trees. Who knows where they go? Maybe, yeah. We'll just bring them together. See, as you paint, you begin to see all these little things. Just practice. Just practice. You'll learn to create as you paint. There we go. A little bit of black right in there. I want a dark color in here. So I want that, add a little black, maybe even a little Prussian blue. Prussian blue is much stronger than phthalo blue. I want the foreground to be darker. There. Yeah, then back to our little oval brush. Dip it into a little bit of the liquid white. A little yellow ochre, a little cad yellow, maybe even a little bright red. Just tap the brush. And we'll go back up in here. Ooh, there's a little firecracker. Little firecracker. There we go. Give me a little friend that lives there. But just that easy. About like that. There. And another one. Just work in layers though. Try to leave a little dark between each group. Between each and every group. There we are. Let's go on the other side and maybe, yeah, a happy little bush right here too. Something like that. Just varying colors, back and forth, forth and back. There we are. There's another one. Indian yellow sometimes. Alizarin crimson and the yellows make some gorgeous colors. Try that too, especially if you're doing fall pictures. There. Something like so. Whatever. Go back to the old 2-inch brush. We'll put a little color on it here. The same colors that we're using, the reds and the yellows. All of those beautiful colors and some green. We'll come back in here and just begin tapping in the indication of some little grassy areas that live in here. The more you tap this, the more it picks up the lavender and blue color underneath, and it'll just fade away. If you want it distinct, tap it very few times. The more you tap it, once again, the more it'll pick up that color underneath, and the darker it'll become. Use that knowledge to your advantage. There. Okay. Maybe. We'll use some more of the dark color. We'll put the indication of maybe something that comes right down here. I'm going to add a little dark sienna. Need a brown in there. There we go. Something about like so. That easy though. It's all it takes. There. All right. Think about the lay of the land when you're putting these in. Okay. Guess what? Bravery time. I'm going to take some Midnight Black, some Van Dyke Brown Dark Sienna. Just mix all three of these together. A lot of paint. A lot of paint. Bravery test. You ready for this? Maybe in our world there lives big tree right there. Right there. Maybe the big tree has a friend. Right there. There we go. Looks like something I used to make a slingshot out of when I was a kid. Got in a lot of trouble with them. Maybe on this side. Here we go. Another big old tree. Don't let these big trees scare you. Just drop them in. It's your world, and you can put a big tree wherever you want it. Wherever you want it. Or you can put a little tree. It's up to you. Or even a tiny little tree. Whatever. You can put a lot of trees in your world. Practice. Let's say, take a little titanium white with at least a little touch of brown in it, a little roll of paint. Let's say this here. just sort of give it a round pull. I know that didn't make any sense. Go round like that with a knife when you give it a little pull. There. Chances are, if that one's a birch, his friend will be too. Since, all right, right on up. Something like so. And you can put a little touch on the other side. Just remember where your light's coming from. Always be aware of that. The other old tree, let's take some dark sienna, a little bit of white, and maybe this tree over here is a different kind. So all we're going to do for this one is just touch, touch. Let the tree take off what it wants. Give you back what's left. Just touch. And when this is dry, you'll be able to actually feel the bark in this tree. There. And once again, this one is probably the same kind, so just touch. There, something like that. Take our liner brush, a little bit of thin paint, thinning it with paint thinner. And we'll just put the indication here and there of an old tree limb or two that lives out here. I don't know. Wherever you want them. Wherever you want them. I'm gonna put some leaves up here if we have time, so it's all right. We don't care what's up here. Just the indication. A few of them will show. There. Maybe this little tree got stomped on and he's not doing so good. Maybe he died. Maybe that's all that's left. It's just his skeleton hanging out here. And the old birch tree's got a few limbs too. A few old limbs hanging out here, enjoying the sunshine. There, wherever. All right. Now then, let's go back to our little round brush. We'll just use some of that lavender brown color, doesn't matter. Here we go. Let's just drop some happy little leaves right up here on these. It's a little round brush, it doesn't take too long to do that. In fact, I think I'll just close the whole top of this in. Makes an interesting composition. About like that. There. Anywhere you want them to be. Up to you. Up to you, maybe. Right in there even. Okay. I think for this I'm going to use, so it'll stand out, I'll make an orange color out of yellow and red. Nice orange color. Got a lot of paint on here now. Boy, that's dynamite. Bright rascal. Very bright. A little more red, a little more yellow. Ooh, I like it. I like that color. Gorgeous, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. There. Once again, remember where your light's coming from. Work with basic shapes and patterns. A few little things on this other one over here. We just use the same basic color. As I say, Jack Frost has played through here. And it's starting to turn all these gorgeous colors. I'm just looking for an excuse to use a lot of yellows and oranges because I like those colors. If you hang a painting like that in a room, it brightens the entire room. There we go. Something about like so. And that's all it takes. Puts an indication maybe of a few little things down here at the base of the tree. And with that, we about have a finish.
So I fell a bit behind with the leaves here. So I'm going to spend some time on that. Add some more red. A bit more red over here. go. Large splotches are red. Let's take take bright red. Make it a bit more vibrant. Get under trees here. Add some depth to the leaves by adding some color underneath here. Alright, bit more yellow. The key to painting good leaves is just keep stacking the layers on. Alright. I'd say that looks pretty good. Now, I fell a bit behind on the birch trunk. So let me fix that up now. I think I'm about done with these birch trees. Maybe I'll smooth it out a bit so it's not as stripy. There we go. All right. Now the trees just kind of disappear strangely into the ground here. So I'm going to erase oil taps to make it look like it disappears into the grass. Alright. This tree over here, I'm gonna add a bit of color to it. Let's say, let's test out this one. That's a bit better. I'm just gonna add little hints of color down this side of the tree. We'll do it for this tree too. Let's just make all the trees on this side brown. Now if the trees are brown, that means the lighting should be a little bit orange. I'm gonna add a little bit of orange light. Orange reddish light to this tree. All right. Let's see, where are these trees at? Right here. Ooh, that's too much of a shadow. There we go. Let's add a bit of a shadow to these trees in the back here. Alright, now I just need to spend a little bit extra time on this foreground. It's not enough green for me. It's more green down here. Let's make it a bit more green. Green up here, a bit more green back here. Okay. To take a little bit of orange. And have the orange be in the middle of the picture here. Add some shadows to the trees. Let's add some shadows to the leaves here too. Just a little bit out in the corners here. Now this looks nice, but there's no foreground. So what I'm gonna do is put a foreground here. That's a really dark color. adding a foreground adds extra depth. So it looks like maybe you're peeking through some bushes here. Maybe there's like a tree in the way or something. There's an old tree in the way right here. Maybe a branch reaches out over here. And the foreground should have a bit of light on it too. Maybe not as bright. Maybe some leaves are right here too. Maybe there's some leaves on this one here. Maybe there's a bit of leaves on this one. Edges are a bit green. Can't forget about the bushes down here. pretty nice. Let's see. Maybe I'll add a little bit more water back here. And from here, you can do whatever you want. I might, maybe I want like a bird back here. Have some birds flying. And then maybe in the water here, I want a rock. It's a little rock right here. And then, what if maybe in the back, let's see about here. Maybe there's a deer back here. Maybe. I forgot what a deer looks like. Maybe the shoulder is about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe the legs come down like that. Give the deer a bit of a reflection. Maybe I'll also give it a bit of a shadow.
A little liner brush, make a quick little signature, and we'll be gone. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend.
Let me see if I can pause it. There we go. So, I think I might also consider mine done. Maybe, I know it's supposed to be fall, but maybe I want to add some little flowers or something. A little splash of color. And I might take this one step further and see if I can add some leaves flying. Maybe there's a bit of wind. Maybe the leaves are falling down. All right. I think I might consider this one done. Maybe I'll add a little. Where did my pen go? Here we go. Maybe I'll add a little signature here or something. I don't know. I don't know how to write cursive. That's probably not even a real word. Let me export this really quickly, if it will let me do it. And then I'm just gonna send this final picture into the Discord. I'll properly watermark it later. And this is the final painting. If you followed along with the tutorial, you can also send whatever pictures you got in the panel questions channel. I don't want to try to do a second painting because that might put me over time. But now that the picture's done, I think I can open up for questions. So if anyone has questions, they can go in the panel questions chat, because it would be easier for me to answer it there than inside of the Picarto chat. So yeah, I guess now I'll open up for questions, and then after the questions done, we can call the panel wrapped up. I think my connection is messing up real quick. All right, there we go. All right. Let me type over here real quick.